All right, in today's video, we're going to talk about lines and arcs or arbitrary contour programming, things that aren't just a mill circle, mill frame, and so forth, where we're going to build a contour using lines and arcs. So one of the things we have to consider or think about here is to do that, we obviously aren't going to be in one single screen. We're going to be building some sub blocks. So we'll have a block number, block 1 for example, and then we'll have sub blocks within that. We'll make up the lines, arcs, 3D arcs, helixes, and things that are going to make this contour. So here on this presentation I brought up, we're going to do that by using segment numbers. You see that we're in block 1, segment 0. Segment 0 is the beginning of the contour and the only place we're going to have a start point. From that point on, we'll have segment 1 through whatever we need to create or complete this contour, and every other segment will have an end point. Also, segment 0 is the only place that we can change what tool we're using, the type of cut, how deep, speeds and feeds, things like that. So segment 0 will be the beginning of the contour and probably our most informational block. If we see here in block 1, segment 1, for example, you can see that segment 1 has endpoints, and all of the information down here at the bottom of the screen are grayed out. I cannot change that. If I go back up to segment 0 again, you see that we have X and Y start points. One other thing to note when we're in segments is when we're in a segment 1, 2, 3, or wherever with an endpoint, over here on the left in these fields, we're explaining where we're going to. And here in these grayed out boxes that we can't change is where we came from. So over here to the right always tells you where you were previously in the previous segment. And on the left is the end or where you're headed. One other thing to keep in mind when programming contours, we only want to put the information from the print that we know. If we don't know what it is, we simply leave it blank. We don't put a 0 because 0 is a value. We just literally leave it blank. And the farther we go in the contour, the control will be able to gain enough information to backfigure the information that we didn't know in these earlier segments. When it finally does backfigure and are able to fill those in, you'll see them go in with CAL next to them, indicating those are calculated values. We're going to program through this print we see here on the screen in a second, and we'll see how that works. When it comes to angles and things, we're going to use what we call the Hurco compass. It's no different than any other programming convention out there. 0 degrees is at 3 o'clock. We go counterclockwise for positive moves. And these are what we use when we determine what an angle is. If we go counterclockwise, it's positive. If we go clockwise, it would be negative. And the way we use those is if we put the crosshairs or the center of that compass on the point we're coming from, then we can imagine or draw our line through that compass to the point we're headed to. And you can see wherever it crosses on that compass is going to be the degrees that we need. In this particular instance, it would have been 270 degrees minus or 180 plus, whatever would have been on the print. But that's how we would use that to determine what our actual angle of travel is going to be. All right, so we're going to program intro 16, which is the part we just saw in those screenshots on the presentation. And we're going to do that using lines and arcs. Now, also so far when we did a frame or we did a circle, it automatically climb cut when we finish the block. When we went to hit draw or we'd go to run it, it would automatically climb cut at least on the finish pass. In lines and arcs, it's going to cut in the direction that you program it. So if you program it going, let's say, clockwise around a feature and you use a cutter comp left, then you're going to climb cut. If you go around counterclockwise around that same feature using cutter comp right, then it's going to conventional mill. So you need to really consider whether you're climb milling or conventional milling, and that will determine whether you're using cutter comp left or cutter comp right. For those aren't familiar with cutter comp, the way I envision it is if I am behind the tool pushing it along the cut, am I on the left side or the right side of the cut? And that's how I would choose cutter comp left or right. All right, so let's go ahead and program this. This is Intro 16 from your packet. We're going to start a new program. Program Manager, new, conversational. I'm going to set up some stock geometry. So I'm going to go to stock or part setup, more, stock geometry. It's going to be a box. Yes, I'm going to manually size it. And it is 2.5 in the X. 3.8 in the Y, and 0.5 in, 1 inch in the Z. Front left corner of the back left corner of this part is 0, so we're going to have to shift by the full amount of the stock in Y, so we're going to do a negative 3.8. And that should get us into position where we need to be. I already have some stock or some tools set up in here. So I already have a 3/4 inch end mill, which is on our tool list. It's already set up, so I don't need to do that. I'm ready to go ahead and start programming. So I'll go to Input, Part Programming, Milling, and this time we're going to select Lines and Arcs. Now we have to determine a couple things. Where am I going to start? Where am I going to end? What direction am I going to go? And basically, how many segments will I have? So I'm going to start all the way off the part in the upper right corner. I'm going to move down and to my left as I go, which is going to allow me to do a cutter comp left climb milling, which is what we want to do on a CNC, is climb mill all the time when we can. So that's number one. Where am I going to start? Well, my X position is going to be what's on the print, and that's 2.25. We program the finished feature. We don't add the radius of the tool. We don't need to worry about anything like that because the control will take care of that when we select a tool and tell it which cutter comp to use. So we're going to program right on that line, that black line that comes down the right side of the part and then down to the left. So 2.25 is our X. That back left corner is 0, so my Y is going to be some positive number on the other side. I want to plunge into air, not into my part. So I'm going to put 0.5, something bigger than the radius of the tool that I'm using. My Z start will be 0.1. I'm going to go down 0.5. That's what the print is a negative ½ inch. I'm going to use tool 6, and we're going to do cutter comp left. Yes, I want to enable blend moves. That means that the tool is going to blend on and off at the beginning and the end of this cut. Probably don't want to do this all in one cut, so I'll do it in pecks of 0.1 maybe. Speeds and feeds would have come in with the tool had I set those up, or I certainly could type them in at this point. So that is segment 0, block 1, segment 0. That has our starting point, our speeds and feeds, what tool am I going to use, and so forth. Now we're going to click on Next Segment, and we have a few choices here. Line and arc is what you're going to use almost all the time. Blend arc will be pretty common. Helix and 3D arc are very specific, very special cases you won't use very often. But we're going to do, in this case, it's just a straight line from the top going straight down. So we're going to do a line to an endpoint in X, the same endpoint, 2.25, and an endpoint in Y of we don't know. That's not a print dimension. I could trig that out, but if I can trig it, then there's enough information for the control to trig it. I'm going to leave that blank. So I'm literally going to hit enter and go past it. I don't know what it is, so I'm not going to put anything there. So we go to the length. Well, what's the length of that line? I don't know. If I knew that, I could figure out what the Y endpoint would have been. But I do know the angle. It's going straight down to the 6 o'clock position from 12 down to 6, so that's 270 degrees. So that's all the information that I know. So now I'm going to hit next segment. It's going to be another line. This is that little angled line that's at 45 degrees. So it wants to know the X endpoint. Well, looking again at the print, I don't know the X endpoint, so I'm going to skip it. But I do know the Y. The Y is going to be a negative 3.688. The length, I know the length in this case, it's 0.848. And I know the angle. The angle is going to be 270 minus 45 degrees. If you had just put 45 degrees in there, we would be going up and to the right from our from the end of that previous line. We've gotten incorrect numbers. So we have to think about the direction we're actually going and remember that slide we looked at. Now you can see as soon as I put that information, it was able to figure the Y endpoint of the last segment. So I'm watching this build over here on the right as I go. So we're already making headway. Next segment is going to be another line. This is our final line. I want to go all the way to the left and past the end of the part because I want to end in space. So I'm going to go to a negative 0.5. Again, the left side of our part is 0. I want to go beyond that to the negative side. So negative 0.5. Our Y, negative 3.688. That's another print dimension. And you can see that it calculated the length and the angle for me. I don't have to put those in. I can verify, yes, that's in the 180 degree direction, so it's more than likely going to be correct. I'll go ahead and draw. And now you see that we have the feature that is on our print. So using this lines and arcs contour, we're going to do that a lot in the prints coming up, and you'll do this a lot when you're programming on the shop floor. Just remember that segment 0 is your starting point. All your information goes there. Segment 1 through the end of the contour will all be endpoints, and you cannot change any of the other information on that screen without going back to segment 0.